Welcome to this course where we're going to be talking about the Alman by Robert Johnson, arranged for guitar. So in this course, we're going to walk through the piece and we're going to talk about the different technical and musical issues that are going to come up. We're going to talk about playing the piece. So by the end of this course, you should have a really nice piece that you can play for yourself or for others. But we're also going to talk about technical issues and musical issues that hopefully you can apply to all the different stuff that you're playing. So the way these courses work is that there are video lectures, and you can watch them as many times as you want. And although it's not exactly the same as having a one-on-one private guitar lesson, you can always get in contact with me through the Udemy messaging system or the course discussion board if you have a question or feedback or anything like that. So please feel free to do that. So we're going to go through the different lecture videos, and I have organized them in such a way that you could totally go one after another, and it would make there'd be a kind of a logical progression between the lectures. But if you want to skip around, that's fine too. A lot of people like to go through them and then maybe revisit the different sections on something that they're particularly interested in. So if you're really interested in your right hand technique, maybe you would focus on those. If you're more interested in doing hammer-ons and pull-offs, maybe you would go to that lecture video. But I do think it's good to watch the video and follow along, and you can kind of pause it and you can play along. I've also included a PDF file of the sheet music for Alman in both standard musical notation and in guitar tablature. So you don't need to read music for this course. I do think it's good to develop some skills for recognizing, musical notation and getting a little bit used to reading notes for guitar, but it's not required for this course. It's more of an intermediate, maybe even to advanced course. It's not for absolute beginners. So if you've enrolled in this course and you're watching this and you're thinking, well, I'm still kind of learning just the basics how to play, then this course might not be right for you right now. And that's totally fine. It might be something that you come back to later. So keep that in mind. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the first section. We're going to talk about the left hand. Then we're going to talk about the right hand. We're going to talk about meter. We're going to talk about counterpoint. We're going to talk about phrasing. So these things are all kind of like ingredients that go in one big stew. It can be difficult to pull out one ingredient after you've mixed them all together in a piece of music. So I really enjoyed putting together these Udemy courses, but what I've done, the challenge is always how to organize the different material. So instead of going like measure 1, measure 2, measure 3, and that way I'm kind of talking more about the musical and technical issues. So I might be referring back to a certain passage multiple times throughout the course. I might be skipping around a little bit. I will say that I'm kind of assuming that you can pick up the piece and you can play through the notes fairly well by yourself just looking at the sheet music. I have included a video of me playing through the piece so you can watch my hands and you can pause it and watch it as many times as you want to help you understand how to play the piece. But I'm assuming that most people I've worked with doing this piece in private guitar lessons, they usually can pick up the notes, at least if not from the actual notes, then from the guitar tab, pretty easily, and they can play this piece pretty well because it doesn't go too high up on the fretboard. And although there's some really interesting stuff that we're going to talk about, how different parts interplay with one another, there's not a ton of notes, so it's usually pretty manageable for most people. So let's go ahead and jump into the course.